Right, I asked a lot of people what they thought of the music video. I used Facebook and asked about 70 people, got about 9 responses. So, just thought I'd ask, because you were in it. What?
Better turn out than we got for the EP.
Fair enough. I just thought I'd ask you, because you're in the band, it's your song, what you thought. So, did you enjoy it, most of all?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy making it?
Yeah. You did really well with lighting, especially when Tom had to lie down and hold the light for you to light Hamish properly.
Well, the stand wasn't really tall enough or short enough for me, but it worked alright. It's better when he fell asleep. And do you think that the video represents your song well?
Yeah, if you look at other videos within the genre, such as the recent one by Eternal Tears of Sorrow and especially some Insomnium films, they often use some of the techniques that you have, like keeping a kind of old grainy feel about the video and occasionally using black and white in lighting to make everything look very atmospheric, and I think you captured that really well in yours. Okay.
And besides performance, what do you think the best aspect of the video was when it was finished?
Honestly, because it's black and white, it has to be lighting because of the way it kind of emphasises certain aspects of like the people actually in the video, especially the way it caught on some of the parts of drum kit were really good.
Okay. People have responded on Facebook, and the majority of the people said they enjoyed it, and they said that it looked fairly professional for A-level production, which I was quite pleased with, especially considering I was working by myself. Most people said that, like you, that the lighting was the best part because it represented the genre quite well and it emphasised the darks better than like just the black and white effect would have done. People who said stuff about improving, they said that maybe the fade effect in the start and some of the overlay was a little bit overused, but I thought better to overuse it than underuse it because it's quite a good conventional music video to go a little bit over the top. But so is there anything that you would have changed afterwards?
Yeah, in light of that, I would say perhaps the fade a little bit could do with changing. Some of the overlay too, perhaps it looks a little bit messier sometimes, but the vast majority of the time it looks absolutely brilliant.
Okay. And what did you think of the camera angles? Was there sort of enough variation?
Yeah, I think the variation were really good. Perhaps in some of the full shots of the band, it looks a little bit strained and in order to try and fit everyone on, but I still think it works really well.
Yeah, the other thing about the whole band shots was the fact that we only had one light on the back, which meant that Hamish and Elisha were a little bit darker than you and Tom in a lot of places.
Tom looked like he had the sun shining behind it.
I liked that because it because of the way the light reflected off the drum kit. I thought that looked quite cool in some of the shots where I panned around Hamish and appeared under Tom's drum kit, which I thought looked quite interesting. And the link that I made between your sort of final guitar shot on the neck.
Even though it was your guitar.
Yeah, but I took the idea from 5 minutes alone video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that worked alright?
Yeah, I think that really worked really well. It drew a lot of attention to what was being played, and the harmony part at the end of the song is very much a climactic point in the song, and you really work that well by putting that shot in the video. It's just not used at any other point.
Okay.
Plus, the fretboard almost made like a canvas for all the other shots that people on too.
Yeah. I've had a response from one person in the film industry, like almost related, but he said that he was quite impressed with the fact that it's an A-level piece, and he said that if I'm interested in getting into the film industry, that he's got a few websites he'll tell me about, which I feel a little bit bad now because I'm not really looking to get into the film industry, but he said that he enjoyed the genre match between the black and white and the music, even though him and a lot of the other responses said it's probably not their choice of music.
Yeah.
He said that the overlapping may have been a little bit more than wanted, and that he thought the camera work and performances was the best part. So that's a congratulations on your part, I think. It was a good effort, and we should try and do it again. So
yeah, well, if we do any more recording, ever do any more recording, and you just so happen to have a camera lying around, then we might be talking to you again to get a free music video done.
One response I got from a film student said that the lighting may have needed to be a little bit stronger, particularly in the band shots, as we said a minute ago, because I know in a couple of them it was quite difficult to edit.
Yeah, but there's not much you could have really done about that, because you only had, well, 2 lights to really work with, and we're not trying to cover a quite wide area. There's not really much you can do about that.
There was one effect that I was using on the final cut that sort of lightened up the lights and darkened the darks a little bit more to help, that I thought might help emphasise it. But what it was is because you were closest to the camera at the time, the people in the camera towards the back of the room just turned out lighter, but your face disappeared.
Yeah.
To a point of just had a white head, basically. But the majority of people said that they were impressed with it, which is quite good. I mean, it was my first time doing something like this.
Yeah.
Last year's media coursework didn't go down too well, being a lot short of the
What was it you had to do
It was a thriller
opening involving a teaspoon?
Yeah.
And your dad?
Yeah, my dad. Basically, what happened is my dad stirred a cup of tea and then went and watched TV, and it sort of ended there.
Yeah,
so,
not quite a Clockwork Orange.
I asked people if they'd watch it on YouTube or whatever, which they had to do to answer the question anyway. So kind of won with that one. But they said that they would watch it, like to show other people that they thought it was quite good for A-level production. So I thought that was quite nice that some people would do that. And one of my relatives referred it on to somebody involved in the music business who replied as well, which I thought was quite handy. And he said much the same as the guy in the film industry, just about the layers and the lighting and all the other sort of problems. But from what I've learned from the audience feedback is that you have to take everything into account. And I did with the rough cut. I changed like the number of shots and the length of the fading, because I think in the first rough cut we did fading all the way through, which did look too much, and it looked better in sort of the slow opening of the song. But apart from that, I think the only editing changes really were really tighten up on the lip syncing and the effects that I added on, which is once the reel.
Yeah, especially in the first draft cut, I can remember watching it, some of the guitar shots didn't really match up, some of the lip syncing was a little bit out, but in the final cut you have reached that and it does look a lot better.
And just the effects where I made it a bit more grainy and the sort of black fading around the edges, which made it look a little bit more professional and a little bit more suited to the genre. So yeah, just I think it's worked out quite well.
Yeah.
With help from people's responses.